Hi guys, I'm EVM, welcome back to the channel and welcome to my new smart charger. When I say new, I've had it a few months, but basically this is the Ohme Intelligent Wall Charger. I've had it for a few months now and I have to say I'm impressed enough to be able to do a video about it, saying that if you're looking for a new home charger, this is the one I would go for. Clearly because it's the one I did go for, but you get my point. Out of all the ones on the market out there, this is the one I chose and this is why. So why, out of all the chargers on the market, did I pick the Ohme? Well, ultimately it was for, I'd say, three main reasons. The first being value. This is, I would say, I won't say it's the cheapest, but it's certainly one of the cheapest tethered chargers on the market. Now that's not to say it's cheap. It does actually have a unique selling point, which I'll get to in a second, but ultimately it's good value. And you know what value means to myself, everything almost. But ultimately, yes, it's an entry-level price, but it's not an entry-level featured charger. I'll put all the basic features and the link to the website and that in the description below if you want to delve into it in more depth. But yes, the second reason, and this is something which pretty much every Tesla owner always tells you, especially if they've owned the car for a few years. How many times have you heard someone say that their car, their Tesla, just gets better and better with age? It'll get a software or firmware upgrade and all of a sudden it does something new it didn't when they first bought it. You don't have to buy the latest model to get the latest features, it just gets it with a software upgrade. And that's how things should be these days. It's basically a software controlled piece of hardware. The Ohme is very much the same sort of thing really. It's a software based piece of hardware that gets upgraded all the time. If there's a new feature that they think should be implemented or that someone's recommended that they implement, then everyone will get it. The stuff that this does now that it didn't when I got this a few months ago, it's getting better with age. Anything, whether it's a TV, a tablet, a phone, a laptop, a camera, they should all get these over-the-air upgrades. It's one of the key things when I'm looking into an electric car. Does it get better with age? Does it get over-the-air upgrades? The Ford Mach-E that I went to see, that does. The Teslas of course do, and I'm sure other manufacturers will do the same thing because it makes sense. So that's two reasons. It gets better and it's a good price point. The third one, this is a bit more complicated, so bear with me, but this is, I would say, the main reason that made me gravitate towards this charger over all the other ones, and I think it's right to say it's a unique feature of this charger. Put simply, the charger will sync with the electricity tariff you're on and then make sure it always charges, assuming you set it to anyway, at the cheapest rate. So for this I'm going to have to explain what electricity tariff I'm on for it to then make sense about why this is such a good thing. Right, now I'm on an Octopus tariff called Agile. I used to be on Go and now I'm on Agile, and I haven't compared the two, so don't bother asking me. But basically this tariff is different from many others because traditionally a lot of people out there will be on a flat rate tariff. You'll pay 15 or 16 pence per kilowatt hour day and night for your electricity. And we'll just bang that then. Some people will be on a flat rate during the day and a cheaper rate at night. But the Agile tariff differs in the fact that the tariff changes every half hour. This is based on the wholesale pricing of electricity, and like I said, it fluctuates every half hour. This is an example. You can see that it's a lot cheaper during the night, and if I go to the peak time now, so between 4 and 7 p.m, it's a lot more expensive because that's the peak time. It encourages people to shift their usage as much as possible to off-peak rates. It helps the grid, it balances things, and it ultimately saves you money. Typically what an electricity company will do is they'll have a peak rate, an off-peak rate, and then they'll average it out, and that's how much you'll pay if you're on a flat tariff. Whereas this one literally does that. Now it's only really the 4 till 7 p.m. that's very expensive, but if you can move your electricity usage outside of that period, then it's typically a fair bit cheaper to you, especially if you can charge it at night. Now this is something that's very easy to do with an electric car. Over half of my electricity usage is my electric car. I do a fair few miles and it uses slightly more than this house does. Now this makes sense very much on the Ohme because the charger knows the tariff that Octopus are sending 24 hours before, as you do as a customer as well. So if I have that charger and I'm on Agile, that knows how much it's going to be costing me today and tomorrow. So let me give you a scenario of why this makes sense. Imagine I come home at 6 p.m. after work and I plug the car in. I have told the Ohme charger that I want 18 miles of range by tomorrow at 7 a.m. for when I wake up. So it'll go, right, you need, let's say, 15 kilowatt hours of energy. It's 6 p.m. now and I've got until 7 a.m. tomorrow to charge your car. So I will pick the cheapest times, the cheapest half-hour periods to charge your car. So not only will you wake up with your 80 miles of range, but it will have picked the cheapest times, the cheapest half-hour periods. So you pay as least amount of money as possible, which is a good thing, for the electricity you've used in your car. It knows how much you're going to be charged in advance. It knows how much energy you will need by tomorrow via your schedule or manual input, and it will pick the cheapest time to do that. This for me is, I won't say a game changer, but this is brilliant. It's the Internet of Things. It's things being connected. It's synergy. It's how things should be. As I said, half of my electricity usage is my car. If I do this, or rather I do this for all my car chargers at home, so instead of paying 15, 16 pence during the day, whatever you might be on, I'm paying on average, I would say 4 to 6 pence during the night. And sometimes, only once, twice, 3 times a year, the Agile Tariff actually dips into negative value. So you actually get paid to use electricity. It's very rare, but it does happen. So yeah, this makes total sense. It knows what you want, when you want it by, and how much you're going to be charged between now and the time you want to set off in the morning. It saves me money. The charger is one of the cheapest to buy in price terms, and it helps the grid. You can also tell it to pick the greenest times of the grid. So it also knows the average CO2, I think it is, or basically how green the grid is, or expected to be over the next day or so. So if you want to ignore economics and go down the ecology route, you can say always pick the charging times of when the grid is at its greenest. So you can lower your CO2 impact. If that's the thing that bothers you, you can do that as well. It's got all this data that's available to everyone. It cobbles it together and makes sense of it and saves you money and might help save your carbon impact. It's so simple. I don't know why no one's thought of it before, basically. It really is. Oh, before I forget actually, Smart Home Charge that installed my charger, they're basically going to link in with this video and do a special offer on the Ohme Wall Charger. I'm getting nothing for this. There's no referral bonuses or anything. The discount is all yours. So if you are thinking about getting an EV charger in the nearish future, again, that'll be in the description below, to Smart Home Charger's website, click on that link and you'll get a genuinely special offer price on the Ohme. So if you do want to go for it, please do have a look at that link there. There is one thing actually I would like to see, and I believe they are working on this as well, and that is an if integration. If this, then that. Anyone that knows their smart home devices will know exactly what I'm on about. If you don't worry about it, but it would be nice to have if integration so we can make our own recipes up and do what we want with it. That would be quite nice. I believe it will happen. So yeah, that's another good thing. It will happen, just got to wait for it. Oh, and although it's still in beta, so I think you have to ask for access for all this, but I don't think it'll be long before it's out. It will link in with Alexa. Sorry, I've just set everybody's Alexa off now, haven't I? Not you! Go away! Phew. It will link in with your Amazon Echo, so I can basically tell my many Echoes I've got dotted around to start my car charging or change the, basically, you don't have to get your phone out of your pocket. So it's not a big deal, but again, it's nice integration. It's the internet connected of things. It makes sense. Synergy. Right, let's have a look at the app now. If you go in the settings and if we go to change electricity tariff, you can see there the companies that they currently support. So if I click on Octopus Energy, I can put my postcode in, it'll come up with every Octopus tariff that they do. That is ever growing. It used to be just Octopus and now they're all included, so that will get more and more. When you get the app, you basically put your car in, So you click on Nissan, you can link it with the Nissan account so it can automatically get the state of charge, which for the most part works, but Nissan servers are ridiculously crap. Not all cars, of course, have an app, so it just then assumes that your car is empty. This is something I would like them to change. These are the options. You can favour green energy, so this basically makes it charge faster at times when there's a lot of wind and solar. Optimise for battery life, so it will charge the battery, it will charge your car at a slower rate to help the battery life. And of course the all-important save money button, so it prefers charging when electricity is cheaper. This is what it looks like when the car is not plugged in. It tells you the status of the last charging session and your green score, how much CO2 you put out, how much energy was used the last time you charged. We've just done a preheat, which is why it's very low. Right, my wife is finally home from work, so I can show you the app when it's plugged in what is a great feat of continuity on my part. If I click change target here, I can click the switch to max charging button, which basically just tells it to charge flat out from now on, ignoring any cost. You can see there it knows my car is currently on 21 miles in terms of range left, and it's set to be at 100% by 7 AM tomorrow. So if I can bring it a bit closer, you can see there it's about 10 to 8 now. It's doing no charging, and then it's going to start at about 11:30, giving the car about almost half charge, but then it's going to stop again. You can see that line there, because that's more expensive than this period here. And then once it gets to that point, it will carry on charging, because those two periods are the cheapest time during the night on my tariff. Stay awake, please. Thank you. So you can see it's doing its thing. It's doing nothing, then charging, then doing nothing, then charging. And that is exactly what I want it to do, to charge at the cheapest time. If I scroll down, it will give me the estimated cost for this charge, a whole £1.70 for about 70% charge on a 30 kilowatt hour Leaf. Cost per mile, estimated total savings versus standard tariff. So in one night, I'm saving £2.23. It even gives you how much CO2 you're likely to use, how much you've saved over a car that does 33 miles per gallon, and how much energy will be used later on tonight. So 21.5 kilowatt hours will be going into my car tonight, because it's quite low. If I want to change tomorrow's schedule, which is for every morning for us, then I just click on that and adjust the slider there, depending on the target range. And if I wanted to change the time, so let's say I want to get up an hour earlier, by 6 AM, I want a 70% charge. Click save and you're done. Right, well that's pretty much it. I'm not going to bother setting up the camera just to say goodbye and thank you for watching. But once again, if you are thinking of getting an Ohme charger, look in the description below for the special offer from Smart Home Charge. Again, I get nothing for that. It's all your discount. So if you want one, that's the best time and place to go. If you're thinking about getting an Ohme or you've already got one, please put any questions in the comments below. The guys from Ohme are no doubt watching as well, so they're probably well placed to answer them. I'll try and answer them myself if I can. Apparently it is putting up the Christmas tree time for me, so I guess I'll have to edit this when I can. As usual, I'm doing everything in a rush and last minute. But if you've been watching, thank you for doing so, and subscribe, because it really does help. So yeah, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you soon.